And so one of the most important things to try to prevent a nuclear weapons being used is to keep them out of the hands of people who seem to be out of balance. And so this is a satellite image of a nuclear material enriching, a uranium enriching facility in North Korea. And so obviously the world is watching that very, very closely because North Korea, is a committed enemy to South Korea and much of Asia and the West. And so the fear is that then they have been able to produce nuclear weapons. They've done some testing underwater and also with some missiles. And so it's just that fear factor that some unstable nation will get a hold of these nuclear weapon technology and be able to create a lot of destruction. So there's some serious problems with the bad guys. With this high-level waste, they can make a dirty bomb. So you got to really watch the high-level waste. And with the breakdown of the Soviet Union, there was a lot of high-level waste that was not well guarded, and so that was a major concern for the international nuclear community. The problem of them learning the technology, for example, in Iran, a lot of these countries say they want to enrich uranium just to use for nuclear power plants, but they seem to be enriching way more than they would need just for a nuclear power plant because you only need 3% as opposed to 90%. And so trying to control the enrichment of uranium is a major issue. The breeder reactors are used for nuclear facilities, but they do produce that plutonium-239 that can then be harvested for the plutonium type of a power plant, so you have to watch the storage of that and the tracking of that particular nuclear fuel. There's fear that terrorists will attack a high-level waste location and or attack a power plant. So there's lots of fear around the nuclear weapons and or using what one wouldn't think is a nuclear weapon as a nuclear weapon to keep our world safe. So in summary, the bombs are very expensive and difficult to make. So that's been one factor that's been good to hold down some of these newer, more rogue nations from making nuclear weapons. Nuclear power plants don't have a high enough concentration of uranium-235 to cause a nuclear explosion, so there's no fear that if you live near a power plant, there's going to be a massive explosion that wipes out the entire town. And there are different types of nuclear bombs, and you should be aware of them. And it's important, one of the biggest issues is to keep the nuclear weapon material away from the bad guys. Okay, so that's it for Unit 1.